Have you ever felt like you're just stuck with your English? Well, today we are going to unlock one of the biggest secrets to real fluency. We're talking about how to stop translating in your head and finally start thinking directly in English. Does this sound familiar to you? You can read English articles, you can totally follow along with a movie, but the second it's your turn to speak, you just freeze up. The words just don't seem to come out smoothly, right? If that's you, I want you to know you are definitely not alone. So many people hit this exact same wall, and here's the good news, the problem probably isn't your vocabulary. The real issue, the thing we're going to tackle today, is that little habit of mental translation. So why is translating in your head such a big deal? What makes it feel so slow and honestly pretty stressful? Let's break down the problem because once you understand it, you're halfway to fixing it. I want you to picture a giant traffic jam, but it's happening inside your brain. Your thought starts off perfectly fine in your native language, but then, bam, it hits what we'll call the translation wall. Your brain suddenly has to become a dictionary, trying to convert every single word one by one. It's exhausting, it's slow, and it's exactly why speaking feels like so much work. So, how do we get rid of that traffic jam? Well, the first and most important tip is to completely change your strategy. You need to stop learning single words and start learning full ideas. Just so we're clear, what exactly is this habit we're trying to break? It's that automatic thing your brain does where an idea pops into your head and you immediately start searching for the English equivalent for every little piece of it. That's the cycle we've got to interrupt. Okay, here's how that works in real life. When you feel tired, don't think of 4 separate words and try to translate them. Instead, you're going to connect that feeling of being tired directly to the complete English phrase, I want to sleep. See? It becomes one single chunk, a ready-to-go idea. It's so much faster, it's way more natural, and it's much closer to how a native speaker actually thinks. All right, now for a super practical technique you can start using, like today. And the best part is you don't need a teacher, you don't need a speaking partner. All you need is yourself. You're going to be your own partner. Now, the secret here is to keep it really, really simple. Just pick any daily task, like making your morning coffee. As you're doing it, just describe what you're doing out loud. Use really basic sentences. I am pouring the water. I am adding coffee. This forces your brain to connect your actions directly to English words. Here's a perfect example. See? You don't need any complex grammar for this. You're just observing your world and speaking it into existence. I'm making coffee. The water is hot. This builds an active, real-time link between what you're doing and the English language, and it completely bypasses that translation while we were talking about. Now, we can take that exact same idea of narrating your life and just turn it inward. This next tip is all about changing your internal monologue. It's about turning your own mind into the ultimate practice space. The goal here is to basically flip a switch inside your head so that English becomes the default language for your thoughts. This means that even when you're completely silent, you're still practicing. You are literally creating an English-speaking world inside your own mind, 24/7. So, how do you actually do this? It's as simple as just looking around you. When you're walking down the street or sitting on the bus, just start describing things in your head. Form little opinions or just make simple observations. Think of it like a silent, constant workout for your English brain. And again, please, keep it simple. We are not trying to write a novel in our heads here. Just look at these examples. They're just basic everyday thoughts. That dress is blue. Oh, I forgot my keys. The more you do this, the more natural it's going to feel for your brain to just create thoughts directly in English from the start. Okay, our final tip really brings everything full circle. It builds directly on that very first idea we talked about. It's all about being really strategic with how you learn. So you're always focused on complete phrases, not just single, lonely words. We've all done this, right? This is the old way of learning. You see the word apple on a vocabulary list, you memorize the translation, and you move on. But here's the thing, just knowing the word apple doesn't actually help you use it in a real conversation. It's just a piece of data floating around with no context. But now look at the difference here. Instead of just learning apple, you learn useful phrases that use the word. Now you don't just know a word, you have complete, ready-to-use sentences for different situations. This gives you context, it gives you grammar, and it gives you real-world usefulness, all in one package. Okay, we have covered some really powerful stuff, but tips and techniques are pretty useless if you don't put them into practice, right? So let's build a simple 10-minute routine that you can start using today.
And that's really all it takes to get started. I'm serious. You don't need to feel like you have to block out hours and hours every day. The key is consistency, not how long you do it. Just 10 minutes of focused practice every day will make a huge difference.
So here's your daily game plan. It's super simple. Spend 10 minutes talking to yourself while you do a simple task. Then, for the rest of the day, just make a conscious effort to switch your inner thoughts to English. You do this every single day, and you will be actively rewiring your brain for fluency. So let's not wait, not tomorrow, not later today. Let's start right now. As you finish listening, I want you to apply this. Just look around you, wherever you are. What is the very first thing that you are going to think? In English. Go ahead. Start now.
Stay creative with Frame by Fun and like, share, and subscribe.